and thanks for joining me for today's video tutorial on how to use WorkPro's searching and filtering capability. So I say that filtering and searching is going to be your best friend. And I say that because you're going to be able to do really basic searches for one piece of data, or you can do really complex filtering and searching so that you can make decisions on many candidates or many functions at once. So starting off over here with the filter, of course, so some basic options. If you are a site administrator or an account administrator, you might be responsible for more than one account in WorkPro. So you can either use the filtering function to look at one site in particular, or you can look at all of your sites. This is where you would be searching for a candidate. So if you're desperate to look for someone, you're not sure whether they're in your database or you've been working with WorkPro for many, many years, in which case you'll have lots of candidates. That's where you're doing your candidate search. You can see here, these are all the WorkPro functions. So I'll talk very, very quickly about each of these. So for inductions and learning, one of the greatest uses of this filtering function is to very, very quickly search for those people who have completed WorkPro training modules and you need to produce the compliance certificate. So you'll be searching for those that are not verified, and then you'll be applying that filter. So once you have your list of candidates who have completed training that you then need to complete the compliance piece, i.e. producing that certificate, once you have that list of your candidates, simply jump up here to actions and bulk induction verification rather than having to do those one by one. So that's one use of the filtering function. You might want to look at, from a compliance point of view, looking at those that you have verified, so those candidates who've produced the compliance certificate whose modules are due for renewal in the next 30 days, because you need to potentially send them a new request to complete refresher training. So you might want to use the filtering function for that purpose. You could also search for a particular module. So you might want to find out, for example, who's completed a certain module in your organisation, and you can certainly use the filtering function here to do that by searching for a specific module. Jumping into background checks, so a bit more complex here. You can see citizenship work rights check. Another really quick tip to do bulk Vivo checks as an example is you would be looking for non-Australian citizens that are ready to submit to Vivo and then applying that. Once again, you'll have a list of candidates in your dashboard and then coming up here to actions and choosing bulk Vivo check. So very, very quickly, you can have your entire workforce checked and looking at their limitations or their ability to work for your organisation and what that looks like. For those that are just sticking on the non-Australian citizens that may be finalised, that have limited or unlimited rights to work, you need to be checking these candidates on a regular basis and ideally every 90 days. So you'll be applying that. Again, viewing those candidates. If they're still working for you, then taking action and redoing that bulk Vivo check. So these compliance things can be done really, really quickly using this filtering function. Coming down to police check. So you might have some regular schedules that you need to redo police checks as an example. And so you would be looking for those checks that have been finalised. And it really doesn't matter about their outcomes. But at this stage, you're just looking for those that you needed to do a police check for in the next 30 days. So you can use the filtering function to do that. And so the list goes on. So go and explore all of these options for filtering for your background checks so you can make decisions about them. Licenses and tickets, really, again, from a compliance point of view, you need to make sure that the people that are working for you have current tickets and accreditations. So right here, you'd be looking for perhaps those that are expiring in the next 60 to 30 days so you can keep track of those candidates. And if they are still working for you, although WorkPro automatically sends out those reminders to the candidate, it's an opportunity for you to very proactively manage this process. So have a look at the filtering function for that as well. And similarly with documents, if you've created or configured documents in WorkPro and they have an expiry date on them, then it's something that you need to proactively manage and make sure that that remains current if it does. So again, you might use this expiring filter. Show me those whose documents are coming due in the next 60, 30, 90 days as an example. And before I go, I just want to show you how to do multiple filters, or at least open your minds to what the possibilities are. So, for example, you might be looking for 10 contact centre workers. They need a police check, and they certainly need the rights to work in Australia. So let's start with inductions and learning. So regardless of whether they're verified or not verified, you might be looking for contact centre here as an example. So contact worker, anyone that's completed these modules, even though we've updated versions, they still may be current for you. Background checks, anyone who has citizenship work rights check, who's a non-Australian citizen who has these, or they're an Australian citizen, their proof has been accepted. And if they need anything else, so they might need a first aid certificate, they might need a police check. So let's look at police check. That's been finalised, has no disclosable court outcome. So you can absolutely do that, and then you could apply that search, and then you would come up with the short list of candidates that are job ready and ready to place inside that contact centre.